So, good afternoon. We have today the pleasure to welcome to our studio Genie Laborde, which is a French name, right?
Yes, it is.
And she wrote a book. Show me the book. It's called Influence with Integrity. That's a
Right.
good one. I like the title. I like integrity and I like influencing with integrity. So, this is like a 200-page book or more.
I think it's more than 200.
It's a
Actually,
big book.
236, 30.
236. That's a huge book. How did you manage to write so much?
Well, I needed a textbook for my seminars. I was doing seminars for large
Oh,
corporations
so you gave the book at the seminar?
right after I wrote it. Yes, I was
Okay.
trying to use other books, other people's books, and they weren't good for what I was teaching. They didn't fit. And so I started writing this for it, and I wrote so much that when I sold it to a publisher, he made me cut it in half because he said
Really?
it was too long and too much information
So
for
you
one
love to
book.
write then?
I do. I do. I have 34 other books.
No kidding.
I do on all different subjects.
So what do you
Everyone's
do? You write every day?
no, I don't. I teach
You
most
teach.
days. I teach.
What
Right.
you teach in
I
schools?
teach influence with integrity, which is
Oh,
psychology, but it's focused on business,
yeah.
how you use skills and communication to create rapport with clients and with colleagues and how to make your business more successful. My client list is
Oh,
well, some of them are on
inside the
this.
book?
IBM, I was in
Big
IBM.
corporations? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so basically you present the book to the company and they say, "Yeah, come over and talk about it."
No, that's not the way it works. Mostly I just do trainings, and the people in the trainings tell other people, and they call me up, and I make an appointment and show up to teach.
That's good.
In other words,
That
other
means they're
people,
happy with what you taught them.
right, other people, we've trained over 152,000 people in 19 countries.
Wow.
I have 157 certified trainers who've done much of this training. In other words,
Oh, and they teach for you.
yes, yes.
Oh, okay. So you train them and they go and train.
Right, and I produce the videos that they use. They use 10 minutes of video and then 1 hour of practice.
Okay, I
The
can't wait to
videos,
find out what it's about. So your seminar, let's say, is an hour long.
no, it's 3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
You have that much to say?
I do.
Oh my God, can you cut it down to 50 minutes for the show?
Well, I can try. Let's see.
What
The,
is it about?
it's
Just
about
first. Okay.
taking your own ability
Yeah,
to use your perceptions
yeah.
in a more useful way than most people do. In
Uh-huh.
other words, most we learn how to use our perceptions by the time we're 2 years old, and we never improve them.
Oh,
And so we teach you how to pay attention to new things, how to think new thoughts. We actually grow new dendrites in your brain.
oh, okay, okay. So that takes 3 days.
Yes, it does.
All right. Give me
And
an example for me that maybe that's important of the 3 days. Like, let's say I'm your student. What would you teach me in a few minutes? That's the most important part of your
probably
seminar.
the most important thing is that no matter who you're interacting with, you need to notice whether you have rapport or you do not have rapport.
Do I have a rapport with you today?
Right. That's the most important thing. Because if you don't have rapport, it's not going to be as successful as it might be if you can have rapport.
Okay.
And I teach how to use your perceptions to notice whether you do have rapport or not. Plus, you learn more about yourself and your own way of being in the world. And you also learn how to read other people's unconscious processing from their external behavior.
Okay. So let's say I'm in front of you now, right? We have to be in the present. Uh,
I'm pretty sure you are in front of me now.
no, no, no. But we are in front of each other. Do we have a little bit of rapport?
A little bit,
Okay.
not a whole lot.
Not too much yet. Okay. So to develop that rapport, I need to get more into what you do, right?
Well, actually, the the best way that you can go about it is to know what your outcome is,
Yeah.
and then to find out what my outcome is,
Okay.
and then to discover if we both can get our outcomes. And if we
Okay.
cannot both get our outcomes, then we need to start searching for ways that we can, because if one of us gets our outcome and the other one doesn't, the one that doesn't will get even.
Okay. So since it's you, the main guest, you are the star of this particular show.
Right.
What we want is for you to get your outcome. So I want
Well, let me tell you what my outcome is. I have a new app, which is the videos that we use in our live seminar.
Yeah.
I have re-edited so that they're in 3-minute segments, and I have 90 of these. And I've put it on an app where you can only get one a day. So it takes you 3 months to learn the entire discipline. But in 3 months, you will have skills that will improve your life, make you more money, make you happier, make the people around you happier. And my goal actually for the app is that it will change the entire planet.
What's the name of it?
It's called 3-Minute Steps to Influencing. It's actually influencing with integrity, but Apple would not let me use that many words, so I had to drop the integrity. It's just 3-minute steps to influencing. It is on Apple and it's on the Android.
It's free?
The first 10 are free.
What do you mean? There's more than 10?
There's 90 3-minute segments.
Oh.
That's how long it takes to learn this.
So you recorded 90 3-minute segments?
Oh, much more than that. I have hours and hours of video. I've videoed a lot of my seminars, so I have lots of footage, which we have edited into various...
Into 3-minute segments?
Well, it started out 12 different modules of 10 minutes each.
Right.
That's what we use in the live 3-day trainings.
Okay.
And then when I decided to try to do an app, I moved it into 3-minute segments.
Okay.
Oh, it's cut down a lot. Okay. But it's also quite different. And I used a few scenes from live seminars, but it was also shot specifically for 3-minute segments.
Oh,
Each segment gives you one behavior to practice that day.
Okay.
Only one. Simple, very simple. First day's instructions are to just notice people looking up. While you're talking with them. If they look up while you're talking, you say to yourself, oh, that person's recording pictures in their brain.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. And then, okay, so...
I've been teaching this for 39 years, so...
So if they look up, they try to remember pictures.
Well, what it's telling you is at that moment, they're in a visual mode.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't mean they're going to be there in 30 seconds. They may change to something else.
Okay.
But at this moment, you know
they are in visual mode.
And if they look up a whole lot, then you know this person is primarily a visual
person.
And they live mostly with pictures. In other words, their whole reality is made up of pictures.
I am a visual person. I'm a visual person.
Yes, often television people are visual.
Okay. And I'm also audio. One thing I don't like is reading. I do like audio and video, but reading makes me tired. So I try to get audiobooks.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's good. They're available.
They are available. How much is your audiobook?
Well, I don't think we have one at the moment. I think we've had one at one time, but I've been in business so long, things come and go. I don't know if we have an audio at the moment.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I'll do. If we have one, I'll have to ask my assistant if we still have one. If we do, I'll send you the information about it.
Okay. But the app is audio, right?
The best thing you could do, yes, the app is visual and audio.
So I'll go to the app.
You do better to go to the app, but it will be easier than a book. A book is restricted in how much information it
also, you have to, when you read, you have to process.
Yes.
It requires more effort on your part than
Yes.
just listening.
Exactly. If you watch the app, you get it almost painless
Okay.
because the exercises are so simple.
Okay.
But you can only get one a day.
Okay.
It's blocked. You get one and you have to wait till the next day to
So
get the
you
next.
can assimilate.
Exactly. So your brain actually begins to grow the dendrites they need to hook up. So you remember to use this in the future.
Okay, so basically the app, can you remind me the name? Influence?
Oh, it's 3-minute steps to influencing.
Oh, 3 minutes. Why
Three
don't you
min-
say 90 steps to influencing?
Because that makes you tired to think of having to take 90 steps.
Oh,
Whereas
okay.
3 minutes a day sounds like, oh, this is
Oh,
nothing. I
that's
can learn a
nothing.
whole new set of skills in only 3 minutes a
very
day.
clever of you to do it
Yeah.
that way. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
So
it's
3 minutes a day is doable.
exactly, and you're done. I mean, that's all it is. And then you
I'll
have
do
this,
that. I'll do that. 3 minutes is okay.
and then if
It's your
you
voice or somebody else's
and
voice?
listen to this. It's once you finish the 10 days,
Yeah.
then you have to pay us.
Right.
For one thing, Apple charges us, so we
Yeah.
have to pay Apple 30% of whatever we
Oh,
sell.
of course.
But I'm returning half your fee if you complete the whole 90 days.
No kidding.
You get half of what you paid back,
Okay. All right.
but only if you complete all 90 days.
So you give that app to your students so that they stay on top of it after
No,
the
the
class?
app's new. It's just now up.
Oh, it's new.
It's new, so that's one reason I'm talking about it.
Okay.
I've been doing the rest of this for many, many years.
Yeah?
But the app is new, and we're really excited. See, I wanted to go around the whole world, and the first 5 people that signed up to test it,
Yeah.
Apple has a testing group. The first 5 people that showed up
Yeah.
were from India,
Yeah.
Croatia,
Yeah.
Romania,
Uh-huh.
um,
Indonesia, Pakistan,
no.
England.
The U.S. was one. Romania, Croatia,
Any
India,
European?
Mexico.
Mexico.
Right. The first 5 were from 5 different foreign countries, which got me so excited. It made my day. It really
Oh,
did. Because I was hoping it would break out of boundaries of countries and cultures and things. But you never know because it's in English. That means these are all English-speaking people
Right.
in those countries.
Right.
Unless, of course, I guess my understanding is you can get it translated. So maybe they're translating it.
No, everybody learn English as a second language.
Good. Okay.
So
that's
all these
great.
countries, they all learn English as a second language.
Well, what I'm hoping is, see, I realize this is a fantasy that probably has no footing in reality, but my fantasy is that it does change people's behavior so much
Yeah.
that we will just stop doing wars.
Oh, really?
I just think we should stop. They're just stupid.
Oh, I heard many authors that want to stop war with their system.
Exactly. But this
this
one would work.
This one?
If people will use it, it will work. If they'll do the 90 days and practice the instructions that are included in the 90 days, it will stop war.
Okay, and why? Let's hear it.
Well, because you learn how to get what you want and help the other person get what they want, and both of you end up satisfied. So why fight?
Oh.
I've taught this, my trainers and I have taught this to 152,000 people, and they're using it. They use it. They don't fight.
Okay, so if I want your oil and you don't want to give it to me, what do I do? Kill you?
Then we find a way to turn the oil into electricity without polluting the atmosphere, and we both win.
Yeah, but what do you want something out of it? I want
Not,
your oil.
I don't really care if I can stop war. I don't need a thing else.
No. Okay, we said you have the oil, right?
Okay, let's say I have the oil.
Okay.
And the way it is
And I
now,
need it. What do we do?
you start exploring with your right brain. You
Okay.
add you tap into your right brain.
Okay.
You know, 92% of the population are left brain dominant, which means they don't have much creativity.
Oh,
They
okay.
don't know how to use creative thinking.
Okay.
This teaches you how to tap into your right brain.
Okay.
Use your right brain and come up with a creative solution. The right brain makes decisions in a completely different way than the left brain. If you use your right brain, you can find a way to get what you want, to get what they want, and both of you will go away happy.
Really?
Yes, and all you have to do is know how to tap your right brain. You want to know how to tap it?
Just be creative.
Exactly.
And let's say I don't have money, so instead of money, I would give them something else, right?
Right. Maybe the fruit off your apple tree.
All right.
Or your
Something.
your gold
But it has
coins
to be equal value.
to that person. But
Oh.
who knows?
Who knows? Maybe they
Until
do
you
need
ask some questions, get rapport, get honest answers. You demonstrate honesty and truthfulness to them and how powerful that is in an interaction. I mean, IBM paid me money for almost 20 years for my course for their people. People, they don't do that unless it works.
Okay, so it works.
It works. I'm telling you, corporations do not. My seminars are $8,000 a day.
A day.
Right, for a corporation.
And you go in person?
Well, sometimes I do.
And sometimes you send the trained
people. Sometimes I
people.
send trainers, and sometimes I go with the trainers, sometimes I don't.
Okay.
Depends on lots of other.
Depends if you have the energy.
No, it doesn't depend on the energy. It depends on how busy I am and what. I'm a little more expensive than my trainers, so if they have the money, they often pay me.
Okay, okay. So basically, it's all a matter of budget, right? If they can afford you to get the original, or they can afford to get the copy.
Well, actually, my trainers are very good. They go through a very rigorous program to learn how to teach it. So they not only do the basic 3-day, then they do an additional 6 days, and then they teach with me several times, and then either I certify them or someone else. So by that time, when they go through the 6 days with me, we're in class together. We eat together. We rent houses on the ocean, and we walk up and down the ocean from house to house, and we practice for 6 days from about 8 in the morning until about 11 at night.
So I assume you were a salesperson yourself?
Well, that's a funny story. I was telling people what I was teaching. It never dawned on me I was selling. I mean, I had been doing it for 2 years, and one day I think I'm selling. I don't want to be a salesman. How did I get to be a salesman? And then I realized I've just been telling people what I do and how it works, and they're buying it, and that means I'm a salesman. I went, well, that's not so bad. I guess it's okay. I'm a salesman.
No, but to tell the decision maker that it works, you must have used it yourself.
It took me 2 years to recognize my own behavior, just because
so
I had.
You sold your program, and that means you are a salesperson.
Of course. But I didn't know that. I mean, it's just so funny because I didn't want to be a salesman.
Okay.
I mean, I had a dim view of salesman, and I didn't want to be a salesman. But actually, I'm okay with it now.
So
After that, I trained.
You get on the phone with IBM PR and you tell them this is
person.
what I do.
I usually don't sell on the telephone. On the phone, I have other people that answer the phone. I'm not an auditory.
Okay, so you go in person and you tell them what you do.
Yes.
And they buy the program.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Yes.
And you tell them in advance that...
Well, in some cases, actually, in most cases, once I got started and had a few customers, all I did, in fact, I was thinking I was a great salesman because I was making a lot of money, and then I realized all I do is schedule classes. They phone me and say they want a class, and I schedule the class. I mean, it's hardly selling. It's like I look on my calendar and figure out days that we can show up.
And people call you and say, show up.
Exactly. So, I mean, in a way, I'm not a salesman. I'm just mostly making notes.
Okay, yeah, just like when I called, somebody else answered the phone and booked you. That was your assistant?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a great assistant. I've had some really lousy ones in the past. I've got one now.
No,
So,
she's good. She's good. She booked you and she scheduled you and everything.
oh yeah, and she is wonderful. Her name is Summer Bruni, and I shouldn't give her name. Listen, she's mine, and nobody else can hire her.
Okay.
She is she is so wonderful. And
She's
it
a
just shows you, I find a lot of people now, when you're dealing with corporations, they have people answering the phone and all that are not easy to deal with.
okay.
But Summer is wonderful.
Oh,
So
good for you. Good you found her. So that assistance basically cut your work in half, kind of thing.
she does indeed. And she understands computers. I'm not crazy about computers. I really like to deal with human beings, not computers. And she knows how to find anything in a minute.
But I would assume that now that you have done, like you say, 20 years, you want to take a break.
40
no?
years.
40 years. You want to take a break, no?
No, no,
You-
no. I love what I do.
You
I
like
don't
to travel, you like to go places.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I like what I do. It's really amazingly satisfying to teach people something that makes their lives work better.
Yeah.
All my trainers are that way.
Okay, so you said that your book will create world peace. Now, how
Not
many?
the book, the app.
The app, okay.
I don't think, well, the books, I think, started it. In other words, I get emails at least once a week from people saying that they've had the book for 10 years. And I just got one last week from a lady in Colorado that said that she worked in a retail store and her sales were 30% more than anybody else, 600 employees, and hers, she was the highest. And the 30% increase that she has over other people has to do with what she learned in my book.
Oh, good for you.
She didn't go through the seminar. She didn't know me.
She just read the book.
She just read the book 3 years ago, and she's read it 4 or 5 times. And she uses it every day, and she wants to take the other 600 people that sell, as she does, and be in charge of their learning from the app. And then after she gets feedback from me, from those 600, she'll train everybody else in Colorado.
Do you think is that beneficial?
She does. And this is all in email and on the phone. This all happened last week.
Oh, wow. That's impressive to have
Yes.
such a testimony.
She blew me away.
Yeah. So that gives you maybe the energy to keep going in that direction when you get encouragement.
I've always enjoyed teaching it. It's really fun to teach. It's fun to teach things that people can use to make their lives work better. It's just fun.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So you go on the stage, you have a group of people, and you take
Well,
them.
I'm generally not on stage. I'm usually in a classroom.
Oh, you're in a classroom.
Not on the stage, but in the front of the room. And then I'll walk around in the room.
And you are the coach, kind of.
Oh, yes, I coach.
No, I
But-
mean when you go around the room, you teach people one by one.
Well, no. We have 10 minutes of video,
Okay.
which is presenting the principle that determines this particular. In other words, there are 12 areas.
That step. Okay.
12 separate areas, so there are 12 10-minute videos. Each
Okay.
video focuses on one thing. The
Okay.
first thing is that people have a tendency to use their perceptions so that one is dominant and one you use now and then, and the third area is sort of out of your awareness. So you're either a visual, an auditory, or a kinesthetic. So your world is made up of pictures, or sounds, or feelings. And because of that, it's like having 3 different languages. They have different words they use. They don't understand words from the other's sense because they don't use that sense much. And so once you understand this and you start paying attention to the feedback that they're giving you, if they're using their eyes up, they're visual. If they're midline, or down left, they're auditory. If they're down right, they're kinesthetic. So you know what's important to this person. It's either their feelings or what they're looking at, or what you're saying, or what they're saying.
Okay.
And once you have that insight into other people,
You can use it with everybody.
it works on everyone. And then you end up being able to set up rapport easily, find solutions. Very, very useful skill. It takes about 3 months to get really good at doing it, using it in communication all
And
day,
get a
every
sale
day.
out of it.
But once you learn it, you got it, and then you don't even think about it. And you match their language. See, if they say, "I see what you mean," you say, "Well, let's see if we get a better picture."
Oh, because they are visual.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So this is something you have to practice then.
Well, that's why it takes 90 days.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes, you do have to practice.
And what are you? Are you visual?
I'm a visual kinesthetic.
Oh, you like when people shake your hand?
Yes, I do. A handshake will tell me a lot about what's going on with this person.
If you gonna like them or not?
If I need to change my behavior to fit theirs.
Well, somebody approached me on the street, and he said, "Can I shake your hand?" Because he was working for Greenpeace and was, fundraising on the street. He said, "Can I shake your hand?" I said, "No, I don't shake hands." And he said to me, "How would I get to know you?" And I said, "Why would I want to know you? I need to walk
Well,
by."
there is a lot. I mean, there's such a thing as energies. So, and you pick up a lot of energy, and information is included in that energy about the other person. And there's a lot of studies that say if you touch the other person in any way, you improve the possibility of a good feeling
Of
about
doing business with them.
Yes, or just a good feeling.
That's
about
why it's
you.
good to shake your hand.
Yeah.
Shake
Well,
hands.
it depends. Like I had one prospective trainer who had written a book on how to use handshakes to manipulate your clients,
No
basically.
kidding.
And when I found out the way he was using his handshake, I removed him from my training list and told him he could never teach my seminar because he was using it in a manipulative manner.
Oh.
I mean, he could tell that much from a handshake. He had written a whole book on what you can learn from a handshake.
I do notice that my behavior changed by the way people touch my hand.
Right. Yes. And he had made it his life's work to figure out how to manipulate them. In other words, he found out information about them and then used it for his outcome, not caring about theirs. So
he wrote a book about it? No.
Yeah, he did. He wrote a book about it, and when I read the book, I eliminated him from my trainers group.
Oh, because that's a little bit...
He was pretty disappointed.
It's intrusive, no?
Well, I don't think you should use your skills to manipulate other people.
No, not to manipulate, but to sell?
Nope. Nope. What goes around comes around. You take advantage of someone else, and it's my experience is
they don't like?
It's a whole lot easier to set up win-wins.
All right.
It works better in the long run.
All right. So sales is about a win-win?
And if it's not about a win-win, you better find something else to sell.
Okay.
Because you're not selling the right thing.
Okay.
That's my idea. I may be wrong, but that's what I believe.
No, I do sales too, but usually, like you said, if people are happy with the price and what they're getting out of it, they stay.
Well, if they're happy with it, then you've got a good rapport
customer.
and it's working. I mean, then you're not manipulating them if they're happy with the arrangement.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So so you said 230 pages. Tell me why you have so much to say. Is there more to it than what we just
Oh, yes, a lot more. It takes 3 full days.
3 full days.
Yeah, we don't have 3 full days. We only have an hour.
Okay, so you talked about the audio, and let's talk about the other part. What is it? The visual. What's the other one?
kinesthetic feelings.
Okay.
How do you feel about it? Or it also includes people who are really action oriented. Some people are they move through space a lot.
Okay.
So that has a lot to do. So that kinesthetic covers both of those, your emotions and your feeling about moving.
But it doesn't necessarily mean touching the person.
No.
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 No. It means
like how you feel about
how do you feel about
this conversation,
about this?
or how do you feel about
They
the
use,
weather today, or how do you feel
they
about
use
your
the world?
boss?
How do you feel?
It's very important for some people to feel good about
Okay.
what's happening,
Okay.
and other people don't notice that.
Oh.
A visual may not notice how they're feeling about it because they're so involved in their pictures.
Mm.
Just try this and notice, or even better, I'll say.
And for the sound is, how does this sound to you?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, yeah, I remember I learned that a few years ago, but I never use it because I never manipulate anyone in any sales.
Oh yeah, well you don't want to manipulate anybody, but you can. You don't use these skills to manipulate someone. You use
No,
them
I mean,
to make them happy and you happy.
Everybody I have in front of me is different, so I respond
Exactly.
differently.
Of course, exactly.
Okay.
Well, you have a difficult job to convey information to your audience after getting rapport with your
Guest?
Yes, exactly. So you've got a double task. You've got to be entertaining at the same time you're probing them.
No, yeah, and I also want to know what you want to present. So you did present your app, you did talk about your book, and with integrity means you don't manipulate people, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So you just tell it as it is, and or they buy.
That's right. The truth has an energy that is very powerful, especially in sales. If you're a truthful salesman, you're going to do a better job, make more money.
Yeah, you tell them everything.
Yep.
You don't hide anything
Nope.
from them.
Nope. Don't hide anything.
Yeah.
And there's a truth in that that's extremely useful for sales.
Because if they find out there's something you hide, it's like you have been lied to.
Exactly. And that's the end of your career with that person.
With that particular person.
Right.
Okay. Okay. But you're right. First they don't tell you, but then it emerges somewhere.
Yes, it does. And you eventually, what goes around comes around.
Okay. Okay.
I've had a lot of my clients tell me that.
Okay, so you don't do your own sales for your seminars, or you do?
Well, sometimes I do sales presentation, but most of the time I just tell them what the seminar is about, and they buy it.
Okay.
I don't think of it as selling. I think of it as educating them
say,
about
I'll get back to you in a week, or do they say, okay, let's do it?
Usually they just put it on their schedule.
Oh,
usually.
good. So you sell them in one shot?
Most of the time.
Right.
I have this kind of thing I do for myself. I never ask them for the sale.
You let them.
Never say,
are we going to do it?
Are you going to do it? I never do that. And once I traveled to Canada, to IBM Canada. I was already working with IBM US, but the Canadian company is a separate company. And I'd gone all the way to Canada to present to a group there, and there were about 10 people in the room. And I did my presentation, and then we had coffee or something, I don't know. But nobody said, let's schedule the dates or anything. And I've spent all this money flying to Canada. I spent the night in a hotel, and and so finally I said to one person, "Do you think you're gonna buy it?" I've never done that before, and I was breaking my own rule. And she said, "I think so," but she didn't commit. And when I got back to my office, they had already called and scheduled a seminar, but they didn't tell me at the time. And I thought, I rather like my rule. I never ask them if they've actually bought. I just do, I educate them and then see what happens.
Okay.
And most of the time, most of the time they buy.
Yeah, I heard that one. Selling by educating.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
you, because they have received something from you, you educated them
Right,
90%.
right. And
The other 10% you leave it for the seminar, but you tell them everything and then they buy because you tell them so much.
maybe so. Maybe that's the reason. I don't think so. I think it's that they've already heard about it from somebody who's not me.
Oh,
That most of the time, the reason they invite me is because somebody's been to the seminar and either tells their HR director or someone in the corporation who then tells the HR director.
okay.
And so they already have this outside person who's approved it. And so it's a question of what's it about. And if it's intriguing, they buy it. Really.
Oh, okay. They find there's some value for
Yeah.
their
Well,
team.
we've taught this in 19 countries.
Oh, okay. So let's say IBM say, okay, come teach our salespeople. How many they put in each room?
I recommend 24 because that's most of our exercises. See, most of the class time is spent in practice. We just use this 10-minute video and then we
Oh.
practice the skill in a group of 3
Oh,
most of the time. Sometimes 2. Some of the groups are 2, but most of them are 3. So 3 people groups. So if there's 24, that's 8 groups. And then they actually practice it in a situation like their business.
okay.
So when they leave the seminar, they've already done it. In other
Okay.
words, the brain likes it. If you've already done it, then you can remember to do it again. If you've just talked about doing it,
It's
it
not the same.
doesn't work as well. You may forget to do it. And,
Okay. So it's not a room of like 200 people,
well, I've done that. I've done big
but it's
ones.
not effective.
Well, no, it's effective. It's just then I need a lot of trainers in the room to go around to be sure they're doing it. Because
Oh.
sometimes people are very creative in avoiding learning something new. Sometimes they'll talk about what if we did it. You know, they'll pretend they might do it later, and they spend the whole time talking about what would happen if they did it, and that doesn't work. See, they have to actually do our exercise.
Okay.
And then if you do it, you've laid down a pattern in your brain, and then when you get in a situation where you need that, it pops up.
Okay. So there's about 10 exercise.
12,
12 exercise.
right.
Very different from each
Yes, each one is a whole different ball game.
set. Oh, okay. And you touch on other areas besides looking at the person?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And these are all different skills. That's just the very first skill, the one I gave you. There are 11 more. And then there are sub-skills under those. In other words, what I find is that many people know something about what we teach. They know 1 or 2 things. It's the others they don't know that makes it so powerful.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I don't like what they teach sometimes where they say, oh, mimic a little bit the other person. That I don't do because that's manipulative. To mimic the other person that's in front of you.
To do what?
To do what the person in front of you does.
Oh, to mimic them.
Yeah, I don't like
No,
that.
that's not a good idea. Actually, that's pretty easy to pick up, and it irritates the hell out of the other.
Irritates the person.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, that
That is taught though. I mean, in some ways,
right. That is manipulative, and I don't recommend you do that.
it's better to be yourself and.
Well, the thing about it is, if you're with a visual, you want to change your language to their language because they will eliminate the auditory words and the kinesthetic words. They don't even hear them.
Oh.
In many cases, they just dilute them.
Oh.
So in that case, you do want to change your language. But it's almost as if you're in India, you don't speak Japanese. You know, it's the same
not gonna
thing.
get through.
It's not. It's finding common ground, which is very useful.
Okay. So you teach people to change their language, not really their body language.
I'll tell you something interesting. I did one class. I'll never forget this because when we got to the classroom, it was at a chain of motels, and they had just served lunch, and they didn't take away all the plates. So we go into this room, and it's full of dirty dishes. I always remember that. And then the people there, I think I started off by having them tell a story to their partner, any story they wanted, just to start the conversation. And what happened when I looked around the room, and everybody in the room, because we hadn't really, I think this was one where I was just introducing this to a new group of people with the idea maybe they'd do a seminar later, so I was just kind of showing. I noticed every single pair was mimicking the other person. It was amazing. And so
They were taught to do it.
no, but nobody taught. You know, I just told one of them to tell a story to the other one, and in telling the story, there was so much rapport in the room that everybody was mimicking their partner.
Oh.
So I had them all stop immediately. I just said, "Stop where you are, and notice what's happening with you and your partner." I mean, if one of them was sitting like this, the
Yeah.
other one was sitting like this.
They were
If one of them was
mimicking.
doing this, the other, the whole room was like that. In other words, people have a tendency, once you get rapport, and telling a story is, if you have a good story and the other person's really intrigued, you will get rapport. And once you get rapport, you have a natural tendency
To do the other thing.
to
the other
match
person.
the other person. And the whole room, this was one, I've never
So
seen this
They were doing
before.
it naturally.
Everybody in the room was doing it. I hadn't told them to do it. I hadn't told them not to do it either. They were simply, I was trying to change the energy in the room because it wasn't very good because of all the dirty dishes in the room. Anyway, and that was the only time I've ever tried that. But it is a natural thing. Once you get rapport, you'll find you're often moving and replicating the other person.
Okay.
You
okay.
probably wouldn't notice it. I mean, people don't notice they're doing that, but they are.
Okay, so even if they are from different cultures, or
Even if they're from different cultures. The rapport energy is very strong.
okay,
It kind of overtakes everything.
okay, and what's your number one tip to establish rapport?
Pay attention to the other person. Listen to what they're saying.
Oh, okay.
Just listen. Listen. Don't get caught in what you're going to say next.
Oh,
Pay attention to them. That's the biggest compliment you can give, is to pay attention to your partner.
oh, great. Yeah, because yesterday I saw Tina Fey at the RSA conference, and they asked her that question. They asked her, "What's the most important thing?" And she said, "To be present with whoever you're with.
Exactly.
To,
Yes,
no
I
matter
agree.
who it is, you have to be present
Exactly.
and see
And
what."
many people are not, because they're so busy trying to figure out something else, or what
Yeah,
they're going to have
catch
for
me
dinner,
later,
or
I'll
what they're
talk
going
to
to
you.
fight with their husband about when they get home or something, and they're somewhere else and they're not present.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Okay, well, it looks like you agree with Tina Fey. You're probably a fan of her too. But anyway, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Have we?
So I can
We
take.
did that? Well, we
I
did.
can. We can read a
50
few.
minutes.
Maybe the first chapter of your book on your website.
Yes, I think we give away the first chapter.
Okay, so
Think
to
so.
see if people are interested.
Yeah.
And the
That'd be
first
good. Sure.
chapter, you lay down the ground of what the rest of the book is going to be.
But I think more use would be if they would just do the first 10 days of the app,
Oh, that's
because
better.
the app brings these skills into your life, and then you get to watch what happens when you
Okay.
use them. Whereas the book is so passive. It's the only language. See, I mean, even if the language is feeling language, auditory language,
Visual.
visual language, it's still not as impactful as those videos. Those 3 minutes of videos, those are real people. Those are not actors. They're real people doing real things in my seminars.
Okay, so those are your trainers.
No, they're not my trainers. Those are my customers, my clients, learning in the trainings.
Oh,
They're
okay.
they're videos of real people learning
Practicing-
these skills.
Practicing
Right.
the skill.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll try that. So let's remind people of your app. So it's 3-minute steps
To influencing.
to influencing.
Right.
Okay. And the book is With Integrity.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. So
And we have a lot of videos on YouTube and on our website.
all we do is type your name, Carol.
Yeah.
I mean, Jenny. Genie Laborde.
Right.
Okay, let's touch on your name. So you are from France?
No, my first husband was from France.
Okay. And you kept his name because it's a nice
Well,
name?
we have 5 children, and it seemed not
Logical.
quite fair for me. Now, I had a second husband, which changed my name, but
Okay.
by that time I had already written the book, and I had already had a business going under this name. So,
Wow, you must be incredible. So you had 5 kids and you still managed to be a writer?
I have 5 children and an adopted Chinese daughter, so I have 6 children.
And you have time to do
And I
all
have
these seminars?
26 grandchildren and 14 great-grandchildren.
And you go to seminars still?
I do. I still teach seminars.
Oh my God, I don't know where you find the time or and energy to do it all.
Well, they're pretty much off on their own lives.
Of course, so now they are grown.
Yes, they're all grown.
Okay,
They are.
sounds good. Now you get to enjoy the little ones.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so enjoy them all you can because it's very important to give also your time to your family.
Right.
So
Yes.
thank you for being here. I enjoyed our conversation, and I hope I established a little bit more rapport than from the first 2 minutes.
Yes, you did.
All
you
right.
did.
Okay.
Once you
because-
focus, you put all of your energy and your attention, which is very powerful.
which is what you
Yes,
wanted. You
yes,
wanted
exactly.
to. You,
And I understand at the beginning you're dealing with a lot of technology as well as me.
okay,
So
yeah.
some of your attention is necessary for you to
no,
focus
I mean,
on technology. You have to get all those screens set up and all that.
yeah. So that I have to pay attention to the screens. Yes. So, but I do give you at least 90% of my attention.
I think you do.
Okay.
I agree. I enjoyed the interview. I was a little concerned about it because I didn't have much information about it. I think it might be useful for the future when you have someone that you don't know, if you give them a little more information so they're a little more at
No, the
ease.
reason I don't give them a preset question is because I want them to talk about what they want, not what I want.
Well, I can understand that, and it's more comfortable for people, or at least for me, if I know a little bit more about
The show?
about what yes, about you or the show or what you expect. Just, I mean, they're all see. I'm also a painter as well as an author and a teacher, so there are lots of things I could talk about. On the other hand, I'm much more interested in talking about what you want to talk about because it's
Okay.
your show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be,
you know, one thing
talking
I
about
didn't
your
tell you about the
paintings-
book. See, all the drawings are mine as well as
Oh.
all the words.
Okay.
So people, visuals who like drawings may find the drawings. See, I do all my.
you do all the drawings.
I do
in
all
there?
the drawings as well as all the
Oh,
as well
nice.
as the words.
That's nice.
Since I'm a visual, see, the drawings are very important for me.
So you did put
So,
some
and-
visuals there.
Yeah,
Okay. So
positively.
if you want to see her visuals, get the book, Influence with Integrity.
Exactly.
All right. I appreciate all the information you were able to share
Good.
with us today.
Nice meeting you.
And to find out more about it and the 90 steps, go to the app.
Yes,
the-
exactly. And the
the
first 10 are
3-minute
free. Remember, the first 10 are free.
The first in it free,
Right.
and then
and then
if you
after
can-
that, if
you
you,
have to do
do
90
the rest
steps.
of it, if you do the other 80,
yeah.
you get half your money back.
Wow, good deal.
So-
All right, I hope it's affordable. All right, thank you so much.
It's
and
expensive. It's expensive.
It is.
It should be expensive.
It
It's useful information.
All right.
People think they get what they pay for, you know. If it costs $1, you think it's worth $1. If it costs
Well-
$500, it's worth $500.
Okay, but they can ask for a discount, right?
They can ask for discounts, and the best thing to do is to do the whole thing,
Oh, and they get 50%
and then they
off.
get 50% back.
All right, sounds good.
So-
It's on iPhone, right?
It's
with-
on the iPhone and on Android,
and both. Okay.
both.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Good.